Here we are again. Good morning.
We're hoping it's a good morning. Now, you know how we have technical difficulties quite often?
Sometimes.
Oh, well, if Liz isn't here, just ask Aaron
I
and
finally finished watching that yesterday.
I've had more people say to me, "I loved your cockeyed cop hat." I'm like, well, it didn't start out to be cockeyed. I just couldn't keep it on straight. So and thank you again, Mr. Wren, for letting me borrow that.
Okay, we're good.
We're good. We got sound. So Facebook was actually having problems.
Facebook was down today for a little while. So
yikes.
Which, you know, it's a free service, so we can't complain that
true.
Much. But wow.
Technology, I guess we don't really realize how much we rely on it. And then something like that happens. And it's like, how do we do this? I mean, how do you do Facebook Live without Facebook?
I guess we could have just recorded a video and posted it on YouTube if we had to, or even Facebook. I can upload videos to Facebook. So we've got a plan. We've got a backup plan. But
she has a backup plan. I'm just along for the ride. I don't know. I'm just along for the ride. So I just want to tell everybody real quick about. I'm not cold this morning. And Shelley, I hope you don't mind. I'm wearing your beautiful jacket. I want to just stand up a little so people can see more.
Oh,
look at that.
Look how gorgeous.
Oh, my goodness.
You might need to do a back shot.
Oh, back shot. Back shot. Yeah, good idea. Look at this. Look at this.
Look at how gorgeous this is.
Shelley might not get this back. It might end up being lost in transit, Shelley. Sorry. If you saw me with it on, or maybe I'll just buy it from her. We'll call it good.
And so then there's this one too. I don't know. Gotta get this one
Get this one up here. Give this one up here.
And this one's just a denim jacket, and just the sleeves have been replaced.
Look at those beautiful sleeves.
And I really love this one.
Isn't it cute?
I mean, I love the one you're wearing, but I think this one's my favorite.
Is it?
I do.
Well, and then there's also a third option. Look at how fun this is.
We'll try and keep this sleeve in there.
Look at
and I love this one too.
Isn't it cute?
This has got some good, and you got to see the back of this one.
You've got to see the back of this one because look at that beautiful block. So, and I don't know if you can see on there, but this is all kind of like I don't know, what kind of fabric do we call this? It's all kind of embroidered looking on it. It's a fabric.
It's not like a quilting cotton.
No.
But it's got like eyelet lace almost on it.
Yeah, it's so pretty.
It is so pretty. Here, let's do a little close-up.
Do a close-up so they can.
I don't know if you can still. I think you might be able to see.
I'll see it a little bit. Anyway, so here's the reason we're showing you these. Our sweet friend Shelley is teaching a class on this. We're going to talk for a little second about some classes. We've been having such fun classes here.
We have been.
Not just quilting type classes, because, sometimes I hear from our friends, I can't take one more quilting class.
Yeah.
I take the classes, then I just end up with one more UFO.
Yeah.
I have so many quilts that I'd like to finish. So let's do something different. So we've been doing all kinds of different classes.
Oh, whoops. Sorry.
I
was trying to see if I could see comments. I'm not seeing comments, so I wonder if that is a part of a Facebook problem. So please comment, though, and we'll hope we can see it. Sorry.
Yeah, and if we don't right now, maybe we'll be able to see it later on and still be able to. But hopefully maybe we will. So we've been having all kinds of great, fun classes. We did barn quilts.
I love that one.
And she will come and do that one for us again in the spring.
Yes, for sure.
Bags. Oh, where's our other? Okay, look at this sweet little bag here. Look how cute that is. Again, our sweet friend Shelley is teaching this class for us, and we'll give you dates on some of these as well.
I love this bag because you can pack stuff. You can still see what's in there. It's a good size. This one comes in many sizes.
Yes, it does.
So you can choose how big or small you want to make it. But this is such a usable.
It really
I love bags of all shapes and sizes, and I have a lot of them.
Me too.
But this one's super practical.
That one is really cute, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's really nicely finished too.
It is. It is a nice one. And so just so you know, we do still do a quilting class here and there. And I'm going to show you a picture of this because I don't actually have the for real quilt. But this is our friend Lynn. He will be teaching this class for us. And this one is kind of called beginning quilting. Now, here's why. Lynn is going to really concentrate on us getting a good 1/4 inch seam. And he'll have a lot of other nice tips and tricks in there about that one as well. But that one will be on March 19th from 1 until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And if you've never met Lynn, oh my gosh.
Oh, he is so lovely.
He is the nicest, kindest man, and he is so excited about this quilting journey. Great
and he is
things.
A really good teacher too.
He is a really good,
very, very good.
He's a really good teacher. So we really enjoy our Mr. Lynn. And Shelley's classes, let me tell you the dates. So the Hello Pouch, the cute little bag, is on March 21st from 1 until 4. And we do have, do we have 4 openings in that one? 3 or 4. Don't quote me. 3 or 4 openings.
We have a couple openings left in that one. I can't remember.
We do. And then the quilted jacket, it will be March 22nd from 10 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. So it is an all-day class. And she only has 2 spots left for that one, though. So if this is one you're interested in, you need to jump on that one quick. You can call the store and sign up, or you can do it.
Yeah, and I'll link all these classes in the description and stuff. So
perfect.
But yeah, that one is really, space is limited on that one.
Very much.
A couple weeks. So if you want that one, jump.
And another really fun one that we started. Yes. We just started this. In fact, last month was our first one. It's called Chit Chat Finish That. We're so excited about doing this. And it is the first Thursday of every month.
Of most months.
Of most months. Yeah, we can't do it in May because we're shop hopping. We're shop hopping. And July is 4th of July. But most months, so just check again either on the website or call the store and find out if there are any openings, and it's just $10 for the entire day to just come. And there are no teachers there. But you know what was cool about last month? Everybody that was there was so willing to help and share their knowledge.
Oh yeah,
there were 9 of us that were there, and it was just so fun. It was really a fun, and we have
one spot, and I'm the host this month over there.
She is.
So Fran and I will take turns, but we'll also have other employees of ours take turns over there. So you never knew who you're going to get to hang out with.
It's true. You never know.
But I'll be there on Thursday, and just one little spot, and it's. Did you say? I think you said just $10 to sign up.
Just $10.
Get to sew from 10 to 5. It's across the street at the Hive, which is such a lovely venue. If you've not been there before, it's beautiful and bright.
And lots of nice plugs. It's a beautiful, and they have a refrigerator for us that we can put our lunch in if we want, and a microwave that we can warm up our lunch if we want to. So it's a beautiful facility. So again, thank you to my friends David and Donna Walker for letting us use that.
And there's no lunch or anything provided, but
bring a treat to share.
Bring a treat to share. We have just like a snack share table, and then you can leave and go get lunch. Or
we have the creperie right next door that does.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, as you should. I mean, and there's lots of nice restaurants just right around in the area. Or bring your own sack lunch if you'd like to do that too.
More sewing time.
I have to show you the one more thing.
Yes,
classes.
You do.
Okay, so last Thursday, I went and I took a class on making tenny runners. Now, they're not done. And there's a reason they're not done. So I ordered this shoe base, and I ordered what we thought I needed. I had big feet. I have really big feet. So I ordered the size that we thought would work. When I opened up the box Thursday and I looked and I thought, I have huge feet. Well, it turns out we ordered the wrong size. They were
like the NBA size shoes.
So I'm just saying, if you know a lovely lady that wears a 12 and a half, I have a shoe base.
Meaning the soles. The shoe base is the soles. You don't sew that part.
Yeah, you do. You just sew your shoe into it.
Onto the sole. But it's rubber so that you can wear it on the road.
If you're 12 and a half. So that's why my shoes are not finished. But I want you to see these. So look how cute. So these are this is
turn it that way so it looks like a shoe.
It looks like a shoe.
Oh, Fran,
look at that.
You did such a good job.
Look at those. Oh, they not so cute.
I love it.
And look, you got to see my tongues. My tongues are hilarious. So 1 minute you're going to see me in the store. Well, I have to order the right size shoe bases. But one of these minutes you're going to see me clomping around, not in my clown shoes, because I can't make those.
What is this called?
What is what called?
Where it's like...
Oh, it's a braid.
A braid.
So Kate, I should have written down her last name. This is a little ruler that I have. I think sometime we need to do a little demonstration on this.
I love the look of that.
So when I went out to Donna's store one time, our sweet friend Kate was there doing a demo on her ruler.
Okay.
And it's this braid. It makes this, it is so
pretty.
It's so fun to do.
Or what a cool way to do a border or something really fun. I like it.
I made a little bag. She's got a cute little, in fact, I made it one year for our Christmas party. I don't remember who won it though. Anyway, we just did, look.
Oh,
it's bananas.
Bananas on the inside. I like it.
So you just make, and you can make it as long as you want.
Okay.
And you can make it different widths. Also, I did the widest one on her cute little ruler, but it's a little ruler and one end is slanted.
Okay.
And so all you do, it's just so fun and easy. So you just take the end that is slanted and you just keep cutting pieces and you just keep adding your pieces on. See that?
Well, and that could be a good scrap buster too.
Oh, absolutely.
Those strips. Oh, I love that. Yes, we're going to add that to our list.
We'll do this as a demo one time.
That's a good idea.
And I have to, when I get them done, I have to send a picture to Sweet Kate and show her what I did with her.
Oh, yes, you absolutely should.
She's the nicest lady. I'm getting on a little rather warm. I got to say.
Well, and I think one thing, we kind of plan our classes kind of by quarter. So we're kind of just finishing this quarter. So these couple classes that we've listed are about our final classes from this round of classes. So if you want to jump into any of these, then go ahead, jump on our website. You can always check our website under classes. You can sign up for almost all of our classes that way. Every once in a while, we'll have a random one that you can't sign on our website, but that's pretty rare.
Right.
So jump on there. And then that brings us to our next announcement of at the end of the month, March 30th is our next class open house.
Yes.
How many? We've had maybe 4 or 5 of these now.
Probably several.
And they're such a good way to come see what we're teaching.
So we have all of the class items out on our
the displays, most of them.
Yes. And I'm working on a special guest to come and do something special for us. So if we can get this one scheduled up, we'll announce that too in the future
when we can work on it. But come anytime, all day on March 30th. Typically, we have a little treat for you, but you can come.
Make you something great.
I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be flying to Florida.
Oh, that's right. It's spring break.
Well, it's spring break.
So if Liz bakes something, it might be a little stale. Don't eat it. She'll say it. No.
Also, I should be known for my quilter, not my baking.
Not your baking skills? Oh, I don't know.
It's not a talent that I have.
Kents and I, Smith.
Oh, yeah.
Great work together.
I do good with that.
I do good with that.
But come, in fact, I am going to teach a class this next round, and it just dawned on me yesterday. I have to have my sample done by March 30th.
Yeah, we do.
So I've got to hurry, and we'll see. I might not have it completely done, but I'll have something to show.
Yeah.
So
even if it's just a part of it,
I think it'll be cute.
It'll be great. So so do mark your calendars, come and visit us. We will have all of those classes listed on our website on the following Tuesday. We'll have them put on there.
They're usually they're usually listed before.
I know, but you'll be gone.
No, Roxy has to get them all set up in order for us to sell them.
That's right.
So they're usually set up by Friday or Saturday of the open house. So
good point. So if you can't make it in, jump on there and
jump on the website. Absolutely.
But if you can come in and see us, it's always a fun
like
day.
These jackets, we had so many people. Oh gosh, I'm gonna knock it over. Many people that once they actually saw it in person, they really understood what it was about. And so sometimes you have to touch and feel, which we're actually going to talk about some of those things in just a minute.
Touch and feel. So we're pretty excited about doing that. And then we'll talk about something else that we're kind of excited about that's coming up here in just a second. So that just kind of touches a little bit on our classes. We're really excited. You know, it used to be really hard. I would schedule up classes and sometimes they just wouldn't go. And I don't know. I think it's because of the variety of classes that we have now that we are having such a great response. I mean, some of our classes fill up. We have a few that fill up really quickly.
Yeah, we do.
And I really think that it's because they're not all about, let's just go make one more quilt.
Yeah.
So we're pretty excited about it.
Well, and we've got the new ways of reaching you guys. Like we really just started our our newsletter 18 months ago. So we're really trying to get that information out to you. Village Vibes, we're doing a lot more on Instagram and Facebook, even though we're not doing a ton on Instagram and Facebook, but we're doing a little bit more. And, you know, anyway, we're just trying to get the information out, and I think it's helping.
I do too. Because we've had some amazing classes in the past, and I do. I think this.
Yeah. It's just working. It is. If we tell you about a class in a newsletter, it gives you a minute to think about it. It gives you time to check your calendar rather than you're just in the store and you're like, oh, wait a minute. So anyway, it's going to work.
The last thing about classes is if you have a class that you would like to see us do,
please
let us know.
Please.
And we will do everything we can to find a teacher that will do an amazing job on teaching that particular method or, you know, whatever it is, technique, project, whatever. So please, we would love to have your input on that as well.
And if you ever have a class that you'd like to take, but the date doesn't work for you, ask us to write you on the wait list, because we have wait lists for almost all of our classes. Not necessarily that we have the next date scheduled, but we know that every date's not going to work for every single person. And so we will write your name down and then we will call you as soon as we get that next class scheduled. So, and if we get a ton of people, we know we've got to hurry up and do it. If we get nobody, then we know, okay, maybe we just don't teach this class this quarter. We teach it next quarter. So anyway, it's just, there's lots of different ways for you to get in a class that you want.
And you don't need to wait and do it by our quarters. Like if you have a great idea in the middle of a quarter, you can always schedule more classes during those 3 months. So just please let us know what you think about that.
We want to teach what you want to see.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
So,
yes, we do. Yes,
and I still can't see comments. So if you guys are commenting, please just continue to comment. And we'll look at them after. I've got a couple people that are watching.
Oh, okay.
But I don't have anybody who's commenting.
Okay.
And maybe you're not. Maybe you're just sitting back and relaxing. And
giggling.
But we do know that Facebook is a little limited this morning. So we're just hoping that, well, we know some people are watching. Pam Davis is watching.
Oh, good morning, Pam. Pam, I got to give you a call because I got another quilt I need some help with. You know what? We were going to show next week. We'll get Miss Pam's quilt. Okay. Remember last?
Yes. That's right. It came in right after Village Vibes, didn't it?
It did. So, it's so beautiful. It's the newest Kim Deal's.
Yes, we definitely need to show that.
Yes, we're going to have to show that one. So, should we talk about our other thing that we're very excited about?
We should.
Let's do it. So, for those of you that don't know this, and if you're a quilter, you probably
you probably do.
March is not only our birthday month.
Oh, yay!
Right?
Rox is here, and I can see your comment.
Oh, good. Good morning, Roxy. We're happy to have you with us too. Okay, March is National Quilting Month.
Yes. Which, how long has it been National Quilting Month?
Okay, so National Quilting started in 1992. That's
National Quilting, and it was just a day at that point.
A day at that time. At that time, it was just a day.
Yes.
I don't know that I wrote down when it became the whole month. I'm sure we quilters decided one day's not enough for us.
Well, and they started kind of a different version of it in 89.
In 89. So that was that was a Kentucky. The group was called the Kentucky Organized Quilters. They did it as a Quilters Day Out on March 16th.
Okay.
And it is still National Quilting Day is
it's the third Saturday. So this,
not the 16th always.
Yeah. So this the month just happens to be March 16th. But sometime the third Saturday in March
always
is the National Quilting Day, and then of course, us as quilters were like, we
need
more than a day.
One day is not enough. We're greedy like that. We want more time for our craft, right? So yes, so it actually became national in 1992. That's a lot of years ago.
Have you been quilting since 92?
Oh, I started quilting before that.
Okay.
So I actually started collecting and really getting a huge interest in 1975.
Okay.
But I had a lot of littles, a lot of littles going on there. And so it was actually very early 80s when I really, really got serious and started. And I say got serious and started. I still had a lot of littles. So I did it as I could.
Which we all do.
Right. When you,
yeah.
And sometimes I have little young ladies come in and they're like, I'm kind of bummed because I'd really like to do more of this, but they're trailing behind them a lot of littles. And I say, you know what, your time will come.
Mm-hmm.
If this is something that you are truly interested in, you'll get more time at some point in your life. You will have a little more. And sometimes, and this is one of our interesting tidbits that we'll have for you, sometimes you just got to make that time. And granted, you with littles, there's never a whole day.
Well, I used to joke that I only got to sew in the dark.
Right.
And so, because I'd put my kids down to bed and some nights I could and some nights I couldn't, but I'd say, okay, honey, you're the rest of the night. I've got to go downstairs, and I would go down and sew. And now my family has shifted my dynamics, and I'm busy in the evenings with my kids. We're doing, I've got high schooler, I've got busy stuff, but now all my kids are at school all day. And so I get to sew in the daylight. And I really like that.
So I jokingly say I used to be a night owl. I would stay up till all hours of the night because when I put my kids to bed at 8,
that's the time you had.
That's the time I had. And so, but now that's about my bedtime. So now it's early in the morning. I love to get up in the morning. If I could only get up in the morning and spend even just 15, 20 minutes at my sewing machine, it just kind of makes my whole day. It really does. But so National Quilting Month. Now, we haven't decided what yet, but stay tuned because there will be something going on in the store on March 16th. I will make up my final ideas here, and next week we'll announce.
By Tuesday, we'll have it finalized because we're going to have to announce it.
And it might even be in our newsletter before then.
Oh, that's true. Good point.
We'll do both.
So we'll let you know.
If I ever get more written on my newsletters, then hello, villagers. Hey, moving right along here. And other things that kind of snuck in and took some time. But this is really interesting. So this year's theme from National Quilting Day is Roaring 20s.
Roaring 20s. That's interesting. What would you do for Roaring 20s?
Well, I couldn't find it this morning, and I was a little bit on a time crunch. I have a book that, oh my goodness, now my brain just quit. The gal who does the Add a Quarter rulers.
Oh, okay.
She actually has a book.
Okay.
And it's Roaring 20s.
Oh, cool.
It's got some amazing quilts in it.
Cool.
I was trying to find that, but I'm kind of reorganizing well, I have a mess in my sewing room. Maybe I should just put it that way. So I couldn't find it this morning, but I'm going to do some more looking and see if I can't find that for us.
That'd be pretty cool.
Because it's a cool book.
Yeah.
And do a little more research on what kinds of quilts were they doing in the 20s.
That's a good point.
Kind of some stuff like that. So if you guys do some research for us too. Let us know about some great, like some of you may have quilts from ancestors.
Oh, that's true. Some
you
antique
may
quilts.
Have an antique quilt that someone made
from
for
the
you.
20s.
I have one that I looked at the date, but it was from the 30s. So that didn't do us any good. So anyway, I will continue to look more on that. But let's talk about some of these statistics. Miss Liz, we've got some great.
Yeah, so I just found some statistics really quick though. Linda is joining. You live in Spokane, but you're visiting family in Georgia. So that's exciting for you. I hope it's warm in Georgia.
Yeah. Do you know that that's where Lynn is right now too?
Oh, okay.
He went down there for his grandson's
baptism. Oh, how exciting.
So we'll find out firsthand how the weather is in Georgia.
And Marianne, you're in Florida.
Our Miss Marian.
Where are you in Florida? Because I'm coming to Destin at the end of the month, and I'm very excited about it. We are all counting down the days at our house. So
for your spring vacation,
for our spring break. It's going to be exciting.
Well, now listen, I saw on the news the other night they're really cracking down on spring breakers.
Oh,
so do not go there
ready to party
and take your guns, because they got a lot of cops out. I think that was in Miami. But they showed.
We're not going to be in Miami.
Don't go to.
No, we're not going to be close.
Don't go there with all
those she says near Orlando. So when we come to.
Linda lives near Orlando.
When we come to Disney, we'll maybe see you, but we're going to be far away in Destin. But unless you're coming to Destin for spring break,
there you go. Don't bring your guns or your booze, because the cops might be watching there too.
So the quilt market industry is a $6.3 billion industry. I mean, Fran, does that mean that you're a billionaire?
Oh, don't I wish. Hey, I am just happy at the end of the month if I can pay my bills and make payroll. No, so even that number is huge. I will tell you. I don't
spread
know.
Thin.
It is. And I don't know of any shop owner that I would say is a millionaire. It's kind of a tough industry. But I will say, I don't personally know anyone that's in this for the money.
That's true.
We love it. We love what we do. We love
the people.
Oh my gosh, the quilters. This isn't a statistic. This is my own statistic. Quilters are the most amazing people in the world.
Absolutely.
They are so giving, so
absolutely,
just so willing to give of their talents, their money,
99.9.
Oh yeah. That
every once in a while.
Yeah.
But rarely.
But that's
so rare.
So rarely. Quilters are really amazing people. We're so fortunate to be surrounded by all of that creativity and just generosity. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, but it is a growing industry.
So I have a funny story to tell you about that. So over the weekend, I have a new great grandson coming at the end of the month, and I went to the baby shower on Saturday, and one of the ladies, they were passing around the quilt that I had made for her.
Which was beautiful.
It really did turn out nice, and she loved it. That makes me happiest. But one of the ladies that was there, she said, "Oh, I'm so sad that this is a dying industry." And I looked at her and I said, "Really?" I said, "No."
So it is expected to grow at 3.5% over the next 5 years.
Huge.
Which is huge
because with that kind of an industry
money
already, to have that kind
growing.
Of a growth expectancy, that's amazing. Yeah. That's so
and
good.
The cost of goods, the shipping delays, all of those things have hit the quilting industry, but just like every other industry almost, I think.
Food. I mean,
just everything.
Everything. Insurance, food, gas. Oh my gosh. Gas is $3.29. Did you see that at Smith's?
Well, I drove by the other day and it was $2.99. I thought it was going down. So
well, it was, but now it's $3.29.
So
everything.
But I think that kind of brings up a side note that isn't part of the statistics is people still prioritize it as something that they need to do. Now, you may need to figure out a way to shop on sale or, make use of your stash or whatever, or make some of the things go a little bit farther. But it's important for me to still prioritize that and still be able to spend some money on it. Now, my money may not go as far as it used to, but I still do prioritize it in my monthly budget.
So I'm seeing a lot of people that are finishing up things.
Which we should do anyway. You look at it.
We really should. But that started in COVID, and right after everything opened up, I could not believe the amount of wide backing that we saw here in the store for people to actually finish their quilts,
which is so lovely.
And that is so rewarding. And so here's the thing that I noticed about quilting, especially during that nasty shutdown. Everybody kind of huddled in and did something that brought them joy, because it was not a great time in our country right then. I mean, it was devastating for a lot of people. People were dying all around. I mean, it was
so hard. Any way you look at it.
It was. And so for those of us that had that we could turn to, and
had a stash all ready to go. We were so prepared.
We were. We had no idea what was coming down the pike for us, but So I think that even though we are needing to kind of reprioritize where we spend and how much we spend, I think it's still very important for us to feed that part of our soul because it does. And, you know, I know a lot of quilters, not only do we make quilts for ourselves, so many people make them as gifts. We share. We give what we do because it brings us joy to make them, and the joy that it brings other people to receive them is just, it's amazing. Again, going back to those quilters and their generosity.
Absolutely.
It's a
well, and Marianne said it's her mental health journey. And I love the way you
like
said that. You stated that. Well, and it's one thing to give someone a quilt after you've made it, but I love when I can plan from the beginning of the quilt process who I'm going to give it to, because the whole time I'm working on it, I'm thinking how much I love them.
Yes.
And all that energy is just going into the quilt. And they can feel it, I hope. I hope they can feel it. So, in fact, I just printed out a pattern that I'm going to do for one of my very best friends. And we've been friends for, longer than Kate is. So probably 18 years, probably. And but I've made a plan of how I'm going to gather all my fabric during shop hop. And I'm so excited because I am now thinking about her anyway.
A lot.
So we'll see.
So when I'm putting a binding on a quilt, especially if this is for someone, because, you know, it's on your lap. You're sitting there. And so I say, this is stitched in love. This is stitched in love. This is for so-and-so. This is for so-and-so. And I really do think that they feel the love from that.
I think they do.
To them. So good point,
I hope they do.
Susie. Good point.
Okay.
I love this. Now, I may be guilty of a little more than this. Just saying.
Quilters spend an average of $3,363 annually on quilting supplies.
Now,
so I'd be curious. Tell me if you think you're below, at, or above that number. I'd be curious. No judging.
No.
If you're above that number, please come visit us.
Because we're right
or anywhere close to that number.
We're in that club. So one of our cute gals that works here the other day looked at her history and she said, "Oh, Fran."
Yeah, we can tell you that number now, actually.
She said, "I had no idea I'd spent that much." And I said, "Oh,
just don't look."
That's what I said to her. I said, "Well, why don't you go look at my history? It'll make you feel better."
So that's what. Okay.
I love this.
62% of American quilters are making traditional quilts. I thought that was super fascinating, and I would agree. I would say that most of the quilts I've made. Oh, absolutely.
Especially in our store, my customer base is very much
traditional.
That's why we do so well with the reproduction fabrics. This is very traditional, and most of my customers are, I would say probably more than 62% of our customers in our particular store are. So I think that's a really, and I love that.
In fact, this was years ago, but I went to a store that was very modern, and it just didn't fit my style and my taste. It was a beautiful store. They had lovely things, but it just didn't fit my style. And the people in that area, I hope, really shop there. And you need to find a quilt shop that kind of matches your flavor.
It's true. And so we are so fortunate in Utah with the number of quilt shops that we have, the designers that Utah is an amazing state.
Yes, we're lucky.
We are so lucky. But it's really cool for me to go into the different stores and see all of the different styles, because there are no two stores that are alike. Now, some of us may have the same box kit,
and we are all buying from the same manufacturers.
Right. But what most quilt shops choose to do with those fabrics is so different in each of those stores. So I love that. I love to go into the different shops.
Well, we kind of commented a little bit one of the weeks that, especially maybe during shop hop, notice the different patterns you might see in different colorways, because Fran picks our fabrics here. Other people are going to pick different colors. And it's amazing how different a quilt can look in just a few different colors.
You know what? Sometimes that's another thing that we need to do for a future. Is show you different, how just even different color placement in the same quilt can make that quilt look totally different. That's another thing we'll have to do.
We'll have to do that. But another good way, if you like to go on Instagram or Facebook, the Moda blockheads. which
so
is
good.
a weekly. I think it's a weekly thing that they release, or maybe it's monthly. Anyway, but they have a ton of different designers, and all the designers do different colors on the same block, and that's super fascinating to go see, because you can see, oh, they used a light here, they used a dark here, even though it may not be, oh, that's purple and that's not my color, or whatever it is. You can just see the different lights and darks in the same block. It's super interesting.
It really is, because it really will make your quilt look totally different by color placement and color choices. So, yes.
So, okay, really quick. Marianne says she will not incriminate herself.
Okay, you don't. I'm okay to say but you do not need to, Miss Marianne. Like Liz said, there's no judging. No quilt police, no judging. We won't do any of that to any of our friends.
Pam says we match her style, but so far away. That's why Vibes is so fun. Yeah, and this is a good way for us to reach everyone all over. And Brian, we have Brian joining us today.
Is it my Colorado Brian?
Brian Kingsley, I think it is, right? Oh, he says he loves to do different quilt stores when he's traveling, and I love the same thing. It's so fun.
It is.
And I usually try and find at least one little thing I can purchase. Sometimes that's not a problem. I can find more than one little thing, but I try and support when I'm around.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely. Yep.
And Diana White says she found a place the other day that will print custom pieces from photos, and it would be fun to make personalized gifts with a picture on it. So that's a really cool idea too. There's so many different ways you can do that.
Yes.
Okay, we better get going, because we've only been chatting for a while.
Okay.
3.3 million people have made a quilt within 3 years of 2017.
That's huge.
That's a lot of people making quilts.
That's a lot of people making quilts.
Okay.
I love this.
Brian, this is for me and you.
Brian is
the average quilter is 63 years old and female. So I hit half of that. Female. So I started quilting when I was 36.
Just had the numbers turned around.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So that's interesting. But I definitely think we've got people who are joining the industry, but still.
We had a lady in the other day. What did she tell me? 71? I think she told me she was 71. She's been retired for a few years, but she said, so I was looking for something to kind of fill some time. I am going to become a quilter. And I thought, good on you, lady. That's why I said to her, you're never too old to start something new. And if you start this and you decide maybe that's not for me, you still got a lot of years.
You got time.
Find something else.
You got time.
You got time.
But still, 70% of quilters have been quilting for over 20 years. What a wealth of knowledge.
I'm one of those.
What a wealth of knowledge. And back to where quilters are really kind. They're willing to share their knowledge. And there are teachers who we definitely need to pay and hire and stuff. But so many people would be willing to help you for free. And
so, I think when we were talking about, the quilting kind of taking off and really, really starting to boom. Do you know when that was?
We talked about it. 1979. Do you know I remember? Because that's the year I was born. The rotary cutter is as old as me. But once the rotary blade was invented, it changed quilting.
It did, because before that it was templates, it was scissors, and some of my favorite quilts are antique quilts. And when you look at those, they're not perfect, but they're my favorites.
Well, they couldn't be. They were cutting with templates and scissors.
Exactly. And so now we have specialty rulers.
Using every bit of scrap sometime they could find. I mean, a lot of times it wasn't that they would go buy yards and yards of fabric. They couldn't afford that. So
not only could they not afford it, but clear back then, we didn't have great quilt stores. You didn't have, this was not, you may go to like a dry goods type place and they may have a bolt or two of fabric, but nothing like what we have now. So so that's
okay. So really quick, Brian says I'm half that. Oh, wait a minute. I want to go back to your previous comment. He says my inner old lady is 97 and she spends all my money on fabric. I love that, Brian.
Oh, I wish we could.
Do you have a sign of that hanging up in your quilting room?
You should. Too bad. Maybe he sometimes will be on a plane and he'll have a stopover in Utah.
Would you do that, Brian?
We would love.
Oh my gosh! Anytime, any Tuesday morning, you sign up.
You would love Brian. He is hilarious. He's such a nice young man. I adore him. He's a good guy.
He says he's half that age, and the older quilting ladies love me, and of course we do.
It's true. It's true.
Oh, and Marianne,
so talented. He is so talented.
Oh, Marianne, I didn't know this. She grew up in Cache Valley. And so Brigham City feels like home.
Oh, well, come on back sometime then. Come visit us.
So, Marianne, you graduated before I was born. Well, that's okay. You can be my mama. I'm collecting mamas.
I can be your mama, too.
I'm collecting mamas.
I could almost be your grandma, to be honest, about this whole thing. So, yep, there you go.
Okay, and this is a good point, Marianne. She says she started tying quilts as a youth, which I remember doing with my mom as a young girl, tying quilts. And then, did that go? I think there's certain things we can do, and it will, do things on the screen. Anyway, sorry, squirrel.
She learned
and she was much older when you started piecing, but I think that really, Marianne, lines up with the way that the industry has gone.
Yes.
And so I see your point. Oh, Brian says he'll see if he can get a long layover in Salt Lake.
Oh, gosh, yes. Please.
Oh, we're going to book you.
Please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. We've been chatting.
Okay.
So quilters spend an average of 2 hours per day.
I wish I had 2 hours every day.
Well, I mean, you do spend it in the industry. You just don't spend the time sewing.
But I want to sew.
I know, me too.
And so some days when I sew, like over the weekend, 13-hour days, my back. That was, but see, so then if I do that 2 days, that's 26 hours. So, so that's an average of 2, because that'd only be 14. Yeah, I did it this weekend.
You did it.
All in 2 days. Yes.
Okay, 81% of quilters prefer to shop in person despite the online availability. And we've talked a little bit about the importance of shopping local, but you've got to feel it sometimes.
You got to feel it.
You got to see it.
You got it. Colors.
And cameras screw up the colors sometimes, and really you can't quite.
I told you I ordered brown and got purple.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Advanced quilters. So I'd be curious if you consider yourself an advanced quilter. I do, just based on the number of sewing machines.
I can't say what.
But advanced quilters have an average of 3 sewing machines. Marianne, you're going to come visit family? Please come
and say hi.
Will you come? Please let me know. I will come meet you at the store if I'm not here.
Me too.
Please.
Me too. I may own more than 3.
I do.
A lot more than 3.
I haven't counted, but I have several. And my husband has his own collection that I'm not going to call it. I'm not going to claim.
I may be in the triple digits.
Ooh, I'm not that many. Well, if I have to count all of them in my house, no, I'm not quite triple digits, I don't think.
So I nobody should be. But I enjoy them. So there you go.
Okay, 20% of quilters have a membership in a guild or a club.
And if you are not in a quilt guild, you should be.
I would like to be.
Oh, we have 3. Yes, we have 3. I think one is closed. We have 3 quilt guilds in Brigham City. I know there's one in Tremont too, but you should come join Heritage Quilters. We meet first Saturday of every month. It's an open guild, and it's amazing. And we have all levels of quilters in there. And I love when I get the opportunity to go. They're the talent. Oh my gosh! And so in the guild, and I think this is important. If you are a new quilter, do join a guild, because you're going to learn so much from those other members.
Those guild members will just hug you right up, and they'll just get you in, and
and share lots of knowledge. So quilt guilds are an amazing place for us quilters to all be, whether you're new or not an old quilter, a quilter that's been quilting for a while. I don't want to call anybody old. I qualify for that one. What else you got for me, girl? I find this one really interesting, this next.
The average quilt size is 50 by 60, which I think that's super interesting, because you can think, I've made some quilts that are like 14 by 14, more like a table topper kind of thing, but all the way up to, king size. Honestly, king size are my least favorite. I just do not enjoy lugging that whole quilt around, getting the borders on.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy that, but they're beautiful when they're done.
Well, and you need some of those. You need a couple of those.
You need to put them. Yeah, you do.
You do. And now I think a lot of our customers here would argue that number with you, because so many times we have ladies come in and say, I love that quilt, but I need it bigger.
Well, and I will add borders. Ooh, tell us the border fact that you found. This was interesting.
Okay, this is interesting. Golden rule. Now, remember last week we said there are no quilt police. So don't.
And again, no quilt police.
But this was interesting. It said that the golden rule in quilting, each border should be 1.6 times bigger than the previous one.
So if you do a little stop border, it needs to be 1.6, and then if you want to keep going, that's usually how I end up making my quilts bigger, is by borders.
I usually do double.
Oh,
I a lot of times will do double. So if I say, okay, I'm going to do an inner border that's 2 inches, then I want my next one to be at least 4. But again, there are no quilt police, and I think some of that depends on what size quilt you're making.
That's true. And if you have a king size quilt, it can handle a bigger border.
Definitely, it can be larger. But that 1.6 doesn't mean it's 1.6
so interesting.
Inches. It just means it should be that much bigger. I thought that was very, very interesting.
Or we'll have ladies who will come in and buy 2 kits or something so that they can
make their quilt larger.
Make their quilt. And some people are very adamant about making only bed size quilts. I'm not. I don't.
Well, how many beds do you have?
Well, I have a lot, but my kids don't really put quilts on their beds. I mean, they have quilts, but they don't. So I really only have one that I display quilts on. So,
and I don't have a lot of big wall space in my house that I can put quilts on. I do a lot of throws because I love to snuggle up under a quilt. Even in the summer, I will still throw a lightweight quilt over.
Well, I do have 3 couches that I have quilts over all my couches. I wish my mom has a really cute little railing in her kitchen that she puts a quilt over, and I love that. But I don't have, my railing is slanted, so that's not going to work.
They'd fall down.
Okay, well, we're almost done. 21 million quilters worldwide.
That's a big number.
But that means we all have 21 million friends.
We do. I like that. Yes, we do. Yes,
so isn't that cool? So, and that's one thing I'm looking forward to when I go to Australia, is I'm going to go to some quilt stores. I'm my friend.
See Jen Kingwell?
The wrong side of the place that we're going. Next time.
Okay, next time we go over there. Okay.
So,
I would love to do that.
Nancy says she just counted her sewing machines. She had no idea. Sometimes it's better to not count. That's what I think about my kits that I have. I'm just not going to count them.
No.
I'm just not going to count them. And Jordan says hi. Thanks for joining us, Jordan. And Marianne says, my husband bought me a top-of-the-line sewing machine 40 years ago, and it's still humming. Marianne, I think that's a testament to you for probably taking really good care of it.
Your machine.
But also, things were made better 40 years ago.
They were. And 40 years ago, they were metal.
Yeah, they really were.
They were metal, and so, like you said, they were made better. And here's one. Okay, if you haven't already given yourself this, give yourself the gift of a really good sewing machine. You know, don't go to.
It doesn't have to be crazy expensive.
No,
but do a little bit of research and find a good brand and something that you like. And I think it's important to be close-ish to someplace that you know can service it well.
I was going to say, that's a huge part. So don't just go looking for, I mean, we all want to find the best price. I'm going to give you that. But that best price is not a best price if it doesn't come with service behind it, because without a good service person,
you can't keep track.
No.
Okay, the last statistic that I have is 40 to 50% of quilters have a dedicated quilting room or studio. And that's true. In fact, when I very first started quilting, I was kind of working out of this corner of a little room.
Yeah.
And my mother-in-law came and she said, Liz, you need to swap your guest room and your quilting room. Because my guest room was really pretty large, and guests don't need that much space. No. Then they stay too long.
Like fish.
So
3 days. No more.
We swapped them, and that was a really, really good move.
Nice.
And so anyway, but that really helps because shut the door, you know, because sometimes my room is messy.
Mine's always messy. When I first started, I had a little tiny place in my dining room and a little tiny place in my bedroom and a little tiny place in my living room. And there were always pins and scraps. And then, so I'd have to dig everything out when I wanted to sew and then put it all away when I was done. I spent so much time doing that. So and
some people do have to do that.
Yeah. And that's okay.
Yeah. Start where you are.
If you have a space that you can dedicate to a quilting room right now, and it's something you want to do, slap it on your dining room table, on your kitchen counter. Do that to enjoy it. I have a couple of other fun things that we're going to talk about really quickly, though. So, the most popular quilt pattern of all time.
I love this one.
I know. It's the log cabin block.
Have you guys made a log cabin quilt?
If you haven't, you should. And there's some great rulers to help you make that.
I made one, and really, it was a Pambuda pattern. It's gorgeous.
Yes.
It was probably a little beyond my abilities at the time. In fact, I went to a retreat, and I was working on it, and I described myself as a beginning quilter, and I really was at that point. And the lady who was running the retreat, she goes, Liz, this is not a beginning quilt pattern. And I went, oh, okay. So anyway, but it took me a long time, and I worked on it. It was a block of the month, and gorgeous. I love it. And I'd love to do another one. Actually, I kind of am doing that one.
And you know what? Now, Creative Grids has an amazing log cabin ruler now that here's the thing with log cabin blocks. It's easy to stretch those pieces. And then when you get out to the outside part of your block, if it's supposed to be 10 inches and it's 12, you got to start chopping, and then it doesn't look uniform.
Yeah, it doesn't line up right.
Why some people have some trouble with it. But I love log cabin quilts.
I do too.
The most famous quilt in the world. Dear Jane. So 1863, Jane Stickle quilt, and that is in a museum in Boston. My friend Laurie actually just went to see that.
Oh, exciting!
Year. Yeah, and I have started it. That's going to have to be on my bucket list.
I'm not.
I have, and I love it, but I haven't gotten very far. Okay, last thing I have on my list is, and I think this will shock a lot of people. What is the greatest investment in quilting? A lot of people would say money, because this is a very expensive hobby.
That's true.
Not true.
It's time.
It's time. It's time. And, sometimes I have people come into the store and they'll be like, I want to buy that blanket.
Well, as soon as you call it a blanket,
go to Walmart. Go to Walmart, buy yourself a blanket, because these are not blankets. These are quilts, and they are not for sale. We don't have any quilts in the store that are for sale. All the quilts that we have here are made by staff or our friends. Miss Penn Davis.
A short list of friends who make it for us, but most of them are employees.
Most of them are employees. And our rule here is, if you make a quilt when we're done with the kits or the fabric or the whatever, that quilt is yours. You got to take it home. And that time that we've invested, nobody, not in our area, people don't want to pay you, so they'll come in. I'll give you $150 for that blanket. Really?
Doesn't even cover the quilting.
Doesn't even cover the fabric, the quilting, not to mention your time. So our time is very valuable. And like Liz said, a lot of these quilts that we're making for gifts for loved ones, for family, for friends. And you can't put a dollar amount on that. You just cannot. So
and knowing that my time to me is valuable, I don't want to go use cheap fabric.
Oh, don't.
Because then it's like,
it's going to fall apart the first time you wash it.
It takes the same amount of time to make a quilt with expensive fabric or cheap fabric. And then it'll fall apart.
And if you are on a little tighter budget, you can go into quilt stores. Like, we always have sale fabrics, 30% off all the time. It is the same quilt shop quality as everything else that's on my floor for regular price. It's just maybe been here. Like, I've got 4 totes sitting back here right now that's got Christmas from last year. Fran gets a little carried away for Christmas. Oh,
it's just so cute.
It is just so cute, and they keep showing me fun stuff, and I say yes.
Well, and most quilt shops do. I mean, we never know exactly what's going to sell and not sell,
you really don't.
And sometimes we'll get things a little late or whatever. So shop smart.
Yes. So and definitely for quilt backs, great resource for quilt backs. Shop those sales sections of each of your local quilt shops, and you're still getting the same great quality. But that's a really good point. Don't buy cheap fabric to make a quilt. There's a place for that fabric someplace. So maybe shut up, Fran. But if you're going to invest your time, your energy into making use good quality fabric.
Well, and Jordan just commented she just started her Christmas quilt. And I think now is the perfect time to start a Christmas quilt because I don't get things done super quickly. It takes me a long time. And not that I'm slow, it's just that my time is spread thin.
Exactly.
And so come get some Christmas fabric, work on it now, and you can get it done by Christmas. It's perfect. Brian says his dedicated studio is his whole apartment minus the kitchen and the bathroom.
Why not those two areas, Brian? I can see you doing stuff quilt-wise in those two spaces as well.
So Kathy Keeley says her first quilt was a double wedding ring, wall hanging, hand-pieced and hand-quilted. I'm impressed.
That's ambitious.
That's amazing.
Because those, they're curves. And so good on you.
Good job.
Good on you.
Well, what a good place to start because then you were like, I can do anything.
I can do anything after that. I conquered this one. I got this.
And Marianne says you can't quantify your time. And that's true. It's really hard to really quantify your time. But like Marianne says, do it for your mental health. Do it anyway. And it's good. It feeds my soul.
It does.
It feeds my soul.
I don't know too many quilters that it doesn't.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us do it just for that. To me, it's very relaxing. It's very rewarding. I love it, obviously.
Well, I spent last Friday and Saturday morning 9 hours hemming a prom dress.
Oh.
And I could do it. I mean, I'm not a garment seamstress by any means, but I can hem a dress, and it took forever. And the whole time I kept thinking, I wish I was quilting.
I could have a whole quilt done in less time.
I could have done a lot.
I used to do a lot of garment sewing. In fact, I've made bridal gowns and prom dresses, and every once in a while somebody will still come and ask me if I can do alterations. And you know what I say? It's not a 1/4 inch seam. I don't know how to do that anymore. No. In fact, I have a coat at my house right now that I need to replace the zipper for. And I'll do it because I love her. It's my daughter. I'll do it for her, but not with a happy face.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
So, okay. Marianne says, send the dresses to the dry cleaners. You are right. It was the way that the situation worked out, and I did it, and I do love it. It wasn't even my daughter.
It wasn't Kate's, it was someone else.
It was her best friend. And it was a rented dress. So I had to use big stitches with invisible thread. And she needed 6 inches hemmed on 3 layers. So it was necessary, and I did it, and I do love her. But holy cow.
One and done.
And it was like, exactly. And I'm like, don't tell anybody that I did this.
I'll say you lied. You're a liar.
Well, we have chatted for it is called love, Marianne. You are right. But we've chatted for a long time today. I'm glad that Facebook cooperated.
Me too. Thank
you. Sometimes it is our fault, but today it wasn't. But thank you for interacting with us. That was so fun to see all your comments with all that. And we will have announcements about March 16th.
Yes, we will.
And I will link all the classes. We have stuff. In fact, we got to get done because Fran has to teach class.
I do have to teach class. I got to go get my fingernails dirty and greasy and in some featherweights. So.
Fran teaches a featherweight class almost every time for us. So watch for that if you want to take a featherweight class.
It's kind of fun. And they'll teach you how to take care of your machine. So
okay. We got to go.
There we go. Okay.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Everyone. Take care. See you next week.